Okay, so they can, and this is where the chat would be. We're live. Okay. We're just testing out, this isn't the official relaunch, we're just testing out audio and video and trying to get it on Twitch and YouTube live, so we're going to be bumbling around for a little bit here. I'm just going to use some testing. How's the sound, Bob?
I'm going to turn up.
And is that chat, like, that's...
audio in a little bit? I don't know if that's going to work. I'll do that. Alright, there's a game on
And that's
that
where
thing
they would
that
show up in that? Or no?
I don't think that's working.
That's not working. But let me just test drawing for a second to see if you see it.
Yeah, do some test drawing. It's still a little bit. Your camera's a little bit blurry too. Huh?
The one, like, for my face or the Wacom?
Let me. I'm gonna log out and log back in.
Yeah, my face, it doesn't matter. Just the drawings are important, though.
Which is good. YouTube's looking a little blurry.
It's weird seeing it in real time.
I'm reading right now. He can't see comments, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to be able to. We'll have to figure that out, too.
We got an MX. Oh my god.
Yeah. Is that what the comment is? Yeah. You know, this technology from 1998, why doesn't it keep up with us? Wait, that's YouTube over there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my God,
I'm
mine thing's real blurry.
I'm gonna switch again.
I wonder if it's a camera. Yeah. All right. Again, sorry everyone. We're just trying to get this thing so we can actually go live tomorrow with an actual animation lesson and/or some drawing lessons to show you what we've been working on the last couple of years while we kind of took a hiatus from the live streaming. That is. Then we can field any questions too. But right now, we're gonna have some growing pains while we figure this out.
Alright.
I can't believe how blurry that is. Greg's giving us the go-ahead.
Breaks down. But well, I'll keep.
Okay, so
Just keep doing a little testing.
this is also our test to get it on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So we're trying to do a lot here. All right, let's see here. I mean, I can see from my screen that it shows up pretty good, but I get
Yeah,
that.
you're good. Mine cleared up.
And what about the audio? Was the audio good?
The audio sounds pretty good so
Yeah?
far. So we had a couple comments about audio sounding okay.
Yeah. All right. That's good. All right. So those of you joining us now, this is just sort of a dry run while we try to figure out the audio and visuals. We will be working with this character here. That's part of the Blood universe, if it were. That will be tomorrow. I'm going to set some stuff up this afternoon so we can dive right in tomorrow with hopefully with a little more grace than what we've been doing right now. We're just doing this test run. Okay. So we're gonna have to figure out the comments, but I guess you could just read those if there's any questions and stuff. Those of you who can't see, Bob is to my right. He's one of the other animators. There's only two of us. And he's also the tech here, so I can't do any of this stuff. So he's gonna be reading any comments or questions to me, and then we can hopefully get and provide some answers. But it looks like this is working.
Yeah, do a little test run on it.
Okay. Let me see here. So a little example, I'm trying to do an idle for this mall cop right here. So I already started some of the layering stuff. I still have to mess with his arm here because it has to go in front. But what I did here was the animation for the scooter. Let me double click on that. So you can see here, this is a ton of layers, but that. And now I'm still working on his head, and we're going to break down all these other layers and get this all set up for tomorrow so we can get to actual fun animation of him actually riding this thing. We break up a lot of our sprite work into a few things. This one is sort of an enemy, and this is just an idle, so this would be him standing still in a scene. And we do idols for almost every NPC, so Becky can interact with them, and Becky being the protagonist here. I also have to do, yeah, this one's on top too. And that's the layering issue. I got some stuff with the head started. We're just going to work on the torso, arm, and other stuff, and do a lot of match cutting for this, plus the shadow, which looks too dark right now. To change the percent of that. Do that. It'll be 25%. And as you can see, this is sort of just my rough pass of some of these characters that are going to be in one of the levels of our game here. I got some different angles. Got some other NPCs here. So what's does the yes, everyone has a unique idol. This one is our protagonist Becky. This is her idol right there. And we do sort of the classic ease in, ease out, if that's an animation term, where she kind of bobs down and bobs up, and we just do a nice ease in, ease out. It's kind of like that rubber hose animation theory, that everything's sort of moving on the same rhythm, and that helps for a lot of reasons. With the music, it goes in conjunction with the music, and it just gives it a nice kind of flow that everything's alive, which we're gonna make everything alive on this. These might be old, but I already did some sprite work for these robots in a different folder. I just used them here as a size reference since they're all sort of in the same level here. This guy I haven't even thought. I don't know if we're gonna even use this guy. I just kind of did this one weekend. So yeah, that's that. I'll show you guys, since some of you are joining us on this dry run, I'll show you some stuff that went into Becky, actually, our protagonist here. Character. You can see each one of these represents a character for this game, and each folder has a lot more. Now, Becky has the most, obviously. She's the most interactable character. I'm going to open up the master files. So, those of you who don't know much about our game, it's a top-down adventure, which means you can walk in all the 4 cardinal directions plus diagonally. So we had to do all the sprite work for just the main character here. So right here I got some idols. So you can see on the bottom here, this will represent what the animation is. And these little dots here, grab that and move it to the left. Oh, sorry. Oh, to the right? It's not loud enough? Okay. Sorry again, we're just trying to adjust some audio. So I'm going to play this through, but you can see each one of these represents, each one of these layers represents a direction that Becky will walk, stay, run in, and there's some attacks embedded in this. Now, it could be a little deceiving. She's symmetrical. So this one right here that the blue box is around is the same exact one, just flipped on this side. And we purposely made them all, every character, as symmetrical as we could, so we could save on some labor here. Let me play this through so you can see all of it. So we got the idols here. These little dots are transitions. So this is a transition into run. When you press to the right, left, down, diagonal. That's a stop when you let go. This is sort of combat ready idol. So she kind of has 2 idols. One when she's fighting, one when she's sort of in this neutral pose. She doesn't always have to look threatening. Again, a transition to the run, transition to the first attack, run, second attack, third attack, and I think we had 5 attacks here. Yeah, the uppercut. This one has different, for the uppercut, I wanted to do something different for each angle. So I'll break down that. For the bottom one, she kind of does this like back handspring thing. You can see each one of these dots too represents one drawing for her. And I break it down into layers so I can reuse some of the head animation or the shadow animation or any of that stuff. So this one, she kind of does a back handspring, uppercut. This one, she kind of throws almost like a shuriken and catches it. This one, she's up in the air for an uppercut. Nice little spin move there. Gonna bring this one. This one's another uppercut. She just has a spin. I'm gonna go inside this layer here so we can see it a little better. No, it's still off the work area. So got a spin there. And lastly, the top one. Again, she kind of floats in the air. This one kind of is compounded with a roll attack. So if you hit the roll button and the attack, you kind of get a little more oomph for the hit, and it's a little more damage for each enemy. In lieu of that, you do have the penalty of kind of having to wait for some of the animation to finish. So people won't just go around hitting the most damaging hit all the time. And then the rest is just sort of getting to it. Oh, there's the roll in this one. So that's what goes into sort of just the basic animation of just this one character. And again, not every NPC has nearly as much as this. She took a ton of time. And I think we counted the frames of animation for all these directions with all this one. And I think it was coming in around 3,300. 3,300 drawings for just these moves here. Now each one of these folders represents other stuff Becky does. I'm trying to show you guys stuff and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I think I could show some of this stuff. And you can see these represent the dates when they started and some of these take months to finish. Alright. Oh, this one's going to play slow, so I'm going to turn off some of the background stuff. A little bit to the... all the way? Yeah, my volume's a little low. Okay. Okay. I think this should be fine if we can see Becky. And I got it on fast mode here, so I'm going to switch to anti-alias. Okay, so this one, we have pitfalls in the game, as any sort of top-down adventure would. And these represent stuff you would do if you're moving towards the pitfall too far, if you press it and let go, and if you make the mistake of just keep going. So the top one, like you would let go, or, sorry, the top one here, you fall through if you keep pressing. The middle one is if you let go, you don't fall into it. And the bottom one, the third one, is if you change directions. And we're trying to do this as cartoony as possible. So I think some of the timing actually changed for this in the game. And what I'm tasked with is just the character animation. So sometimes I'll over-animate something and we'll have to just take frames out to make it a better game experience. Then though I like the way this looks, if you're playing and it's not responsive, you know, that becomes an issue. And sometimes functionality trumps looks, especially when it's in this interactive setting. Oh yeah, she comes down and she falls back to Earth here. And I did this for just the cardinal directions. We have these square pitfalls. We don't need the diagonals. And you can see each fall sort of has this different kind of animation. And that one is, you're going to see some masks here that don't make sense. So this is if you kind of stand on one of these that happen to break under you and you don't move. So we got that one. Now that's just for the falls. Not 3,300 frames, but you know, a fair amount. And you can see some of this stuff is already reused. You notice the run in the last one, the stop in the last one. So, you know, we're making everything as smart as we can, hopefully. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. I think we got the volume good. But we do plan on doing this live tomorrow. We're not exactly sure of the time, but it's going to be around the, you know, from 1 to 2 Eastern time zone. We do it for about 2 hours, and I try to get as much animation done as possible while answering your questions, which usually comes around like I'll get to do one idle or one of these things for these sprite work. And every week we're going to show a little more. Sometimes we do talkies, sometimes we do enemies. All of which is going to be spoiler free because obviously I don't want to ruin anything for you, those of you interested in buying the game, and those of you interested in just watching the animation happen. You know, we're here for that too. All right,
and I guess check our socials.
Check our socials. Yeah, we post mostly on Twitter, Instagram, which doesn't give you the links, so we still post there.
We'll set the time there.
We'll set the time. What else are we? Facebook?
Yeah,
if you wanna join the 3 people on Facebook. Instagram, and Greg has the TikTok stuff. We'll get all this squared away so it looks a little more professional than us just kind of bumbling around. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks, guys.